Your energy talks louder than your words. You're asking for the dream job or the right person or the breakthrough that finally shifts everything, but nothing's moving. And you can feel it. I've been there. You're doing the work, you're holding the vision, but underneath, the energy might be saying something else, like, I'm running out of time, or I don't know who I am if this doesn't happen. I'm Lindsay Brand, and this is Cue the Real, a podcast for people who feel misaligned with the life they're living and know something deeper is calling. Each episode helps you get clear on the energy you're creating from so you can shift it with intention. Today, we're getting into the top 5 energetic patterns that block what you're trying to manifest. I'll walk you through a few I've had to work through myself and how to tell when they're quietly shaping your reality. Let's cue the real. Energy doesn't lie, and comparison quietly undercuts your belief in what you're building. The first energy blocker we're going to cover is the comparison of your journey to someone else's. When you keep looking sideways, checking where everyone else is, you're stepping out of sync with your own momentum. Anytime I start succumbing to this energy blocker, I always think about races or Olympic games where someone just glances over in the last 10 meters and then they end up losing because they weren't paying attention to their own race. When you do something like this, the message that you're sending shifts from you saying, I trust my path, I trust the path that I'm on and what I'm doing, to I'm not so sure that this is working. And that's not just a mindset issue. It becomes an energetic leak, one that can keep you circling instead of being confident in where you're going. And it often starts subtly. It could just be from scrolling through your feed or having a conversation with someone, and suddenly their career seems more aligned, their relationship seems more exciting or secure. And before you realize it, your thoughts are no longer rooted in your own expansion. They're wrapped around someone else's existence. When your energy is scattered like that, part of you here, part of you in their timeline, you're not channeling your full creative force anymore. Copying someone else's pace isn't really going to get you anywhere in manifestation. It's more about unlocking your own rhythm and walking steady to that. Looking sideways disrupts that rhythm and it makes you forget what you already know to be true. So to shift this, you need to start returning to yourself in small ways. That could be taking time offline. It could be journaling 3 things you're quietly proud of. It could mean speaking your vision out loud again, not in a performative way, but to remember why you chose it in the first place. Every time you bring your attention back home to you, you strengthen the energetic field around your own desires. Ask yourself questions like, what does my aligned life feel like? Not what does it look like, but what does it feel like to wake up inside of it? That question brings your power back into the room. That's where your magnetism lives, not in chasing or proving or performing, but in being deeply, intentionally rooted in your own becoming. All right, number 2, overthinking the how. I'm a planner, so I totally get this, but there's a point where planning turns into interference. When you start obsessing over every single detail, every possible route, every backup plan, the energy you're sending out shifts. It becomes laced with doubt. You're no longer partnering with what's unfolding. You're trying to micromanage it into existence. This is one of the quietest blocks because it looks like being responsible, like doing the work, but the energy beneath it all is fear, and it won't happen unless you're constantly in control, and you can't have that mindset. That type of energy actually creates friction. It clutters up your frequency and it has these questions like, what's the smartest path? Or what if I miss a window? Am I behind already? Am I doing this right? How am I going to get it? And we need to remember that manifestation is a co-creation. It needs a space to respond to you, to meet you in the mystery. When you're always asking how, you're essentially saying, I need full proof before I can commit to anything. But your vision needs your commitment first, not to the logistics of it all, to the feeling, to the choice that your next chapter is already coming. It's already in motion. So what do you do instead? You stay engaged, but you stay open. You hold the vision with clarity while releasing that timeline, and you take aligned steps. You're not gripping the steering wheel so tightly anymore. And that doesn't necessarily mean doing nothing either. It means trusting that some of the most important shifts are happening in unseen places, that you won't be controlling every single step of the way, that there'll be little steps that you do control to ultimately get you to where you want to be. But you will not know how you take all of those steps until they come to you. The next one is something I struggled with for a long time, and it is hustling to prove you're worthy. This one hides in plain sight, and I see it all the time. I see so many people doing this, especially with the hustle culture of today. Say you're chasing a dream, you're putting in all the effort, showing up every single day, but underneath it, there's a voice saying you haven't earned it yet, that you still need to prove your value, and that if you slow down or stop or just choose ease once or do anything different, it's all going to fall apart. I think I did this for like maybe 5 years. Any hobby I had to be productive or making money or something. I could never just like sit down and watch TV and feel chill. I felt like I was wasting time. So something to remember here is that manifestation doesn't respond to effort alone. It responds to your energy as well. And if the energy behind your action is, I'm still not enough, that's what you're going to get. That's what gets reinforced. So you might achieve things, sure, but it won't feel satisfying because it's being built from a place of striving and not alignment. So what I'm trying to say is you can't force your way into a life that's meant to flow. And worthiness isn't something you earn from others. It's something you claim for yourself. And I'll say that again for the people in the back. You claim it for yourself. A lot of us have spent years equating productivity with value, and subsequently, stillness can feel uncomfortable. Rest can feel lazy. Ease can feel untrustworthy. It's just not right. It doesn't sit right with you. And this is something that I honestly still struggle with from time to time, but I've learned to take control of that almost like OCD mindset of I need to be doing everything constantly. Something else that can help is acting from worthiness instead of for it. That means letting your belief in your own value lead the way. You can still take action, but it'll be more anchored. It won't feel like you're chasing a moving finish line. It'll feel like you're building something real from a solid place inside of you. And manifestation doesn't need your perfection. It needs your alignment. And alignment often starts when you stop trying to earn what's already yours. All right, next up is a blocker that I don't see many people talking about in this space, and that is performing what you think the universe wants. This is another subtle one, but it still runs deep like the rest. It's the belief that if you can just act right, feel the right emotions, or say the right things, the universe will finally deliver. So you start curating your energy like a performance. You try to stay in a high vibration, avoid negative thoughts, and look like someone who's spiritually aligned, even when that's not what's actually true for you in the moment. And I talked about this in our last episode, so check it out if you want to dive deeper in understanding. The main point here is energy doesn't respond to performance, it responds to truth. When you force yourself to be positive all the time, you're not manifesting. You're bypassing your feelings and your truth. You're cutting yourself off from the real information your emotions are trying to give you, and that doesn't make you more aligned. It just disconnects you from your inner guidance. And oftentimes, the performance that's going on is rooted in fear that if you're too sad or too angry or too uncertain, the universe won't hear you, or worse, that you'll block your desires. And this just simply isn't true because we're all humans. We all feel emotions. It's about how you handle them. So if you're wearing this mask of belief while doubting yourself underneath, the main thing to remember is that intention isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about being real. It's about being your real, genuine self and following your gut feelings and listening to your emotions and feelings, not avoiding them. The shift with this one is simple but brave, and that's letting yourself be exactly who you are unapologetically, not polished, not optimized, just honest. This is one that really hits home for me right now because I'm really finding who I am and trying to live in my truth every single moment that I can without saving face. And that can be hard sometimes, especially when you're dealing with, the complexities of relationships and just speaking to people that have different personalities. Sometimes you want to mold yourself just to make someone else feel more comfortable, but you're taking yourself out of who you really are. When you bring your full self and you're living in your full truth, that's when the universe can finally meet you. This way, you're showing up as someone who knows they're worthy of receiving what they want, and you're not hiding behind a mask, and you're not hiding from your feelings. All right, the last one is a big one, and it is confusion around intentions. When your intentions aren't fully clear, your energy carries uncertainty. It doesn't know where to go. You have to sort out what feels right, and sometimes it's less about knowing what you want and more about being afraid to commit to it fully. You might feel stuck between hope and hesitation, or you want to change, but you're clinging to familiarity at the same time. Because honestly, just staying the same feels more comfortable, if we're being honest. Change can be scary until you do it, and then you look back and you're like, oh yeah, that was pretty simple. So this confusion creates a quiet tension that pulls your focus in different directions. And it makes it hard to trust what's coming next. It's like standing at a crossroads with a map. You don't know where the path leads. And you think you want to go one way, but another part of you is saying, but what about that other way? And you start walking, but the other way is always in the back of your head like a what if. And that type of tension, that slows your momentum down because your energy can't fully step into something it's only partially ready to own. Clearing this confusion requires gentle honesty with yourself. It means giving yourself permission to explore your desires without feeling any pressure, to feel your way forward, to trust it. When you lean into that process, your energy becomes steadier and more aligned with your true purpose, and clarity will follow. To support this, I'm currently developing a tool called the Dream Order Form, and it's designed to help you break down your desires into clear, manageable pieces so you can step into your vision with confidence and calm. And it's really about honoring what's real for you in the moment. I honestly came up with the idea of creating it initially for myself because when I think about what I want, I have desires in all directions. I could have 100 different desires for one thing. I want to travel and I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay, well, where do I want to go? What are the details? So to help myself and everyone else that would like clarity on what they actually want, I'm creating this Dream Order Form, and I will let you know when it's finished. That's a wrap on today's episode, and if your energy's been feeling stuck or off track, I hope this gave you clarity. Blocks are not flaws, they are feedback. They're showing you where something deeper is asking for your attention. Give it that attention, figure it out, and move forward. Look at what's been running in the background and change it if it isn't in alignment with what you want. And I'm sure we all have even more blocks in these top fives, and every time you identify a block, it is a doorway back to alignment. And the moment you notice one, you're not stuck in it anymore. You're already interrupting the pattern. It's like meditation where you're just kind of free flowing and you don't have any guides and you're just going on tangents in your brain, and you gently keep bringing yourself back and being oh yeah, I'm meditating. It's just like that. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You just need to stay honest with yourself and keep making small conscious shifts. That's how the real life you want starts taking shape from the inside out. And when it comes to comparison, you weren't meant to live someone else's version of success. You came here to build something true to you. I want to thank you for joining, and I'll see you back here on Thursday where we discuss how to manifest when you feel stuck or like a failure. Until next time.